Testing, testing. Yeah, that's all good. Here's the audio level. Let's turn it down a little. I can't think I've streamed since I've got my new audio setup and my new monitor stands and new monitors and the rest, but I don't think we'll have any problems. I just wanted to mention it in case there's any slight peculiarities between this stream going forwards and previous ones. Anyway, I wanted to have a little look at Concrete Genie. I have played the game up until fairly late, and it's taken a turn. But I don't want to show that now because it has spoilers, so I'll do new and pick a new slot. Now, I didn't know much about the game going into it. Obviously, I'd seen a couple of trailers, a screenshot or two. I thought, oh, cool. Freeform, creative, drawing, a bit of a story with it. And it kind of lives up to that. But I'm not feeling the encouragement to be creative that I thought it would have. An awful lot of it can be short-circuited through. It feels like it doesn't challenge the player to be creative or to be inventive, unless of course you're just, you know, either you're a child and you enjoy just playing a game by playing it, or, you know, or you feel like you've got real creative input, which I don't. The game also limits the tools you have for actually drawing in collectibles, so you have to actually explore to get the tools to paint more interesting scenes, which I think is actually a detriment, because an awful lot of the game is about making the town more vibrant to awaken it. It sort of feels like flower in that sort of, you know, set for the petals to revive the world. So it makes for an awful lot of the scenes you're filling in to either be just one thing that you spam down because it allows you to do that. And I find that a bit frustrating. I want it to encourage me. So the only thing the game can do is to get you to paint more than just, you know, enough to trigger a threshold. Is you have the genies, which ask, hey, can you doodle this for me? And it makes them happy, and when the genies are happy they give you super paint. The problem there is once you've got the genie happy, they don't often ask you to get them happy again. So you just stand near genies to get super paint, to just clear up the purple areas. So. Also, the cutscenes in this are quite lengthy, which surprises me for something that I feel could be a bit more casual. But it's really done well, and I like this art style of having a 2D animated face on a 3D model. It's not done as commonly as I'd like, actually. So obviously this is the abandoned town that we're going to be waking up. So now it just wants us to configure our control. Obviously we want to do that, and you can see now that we can just wave it around. Actually rather surprising how inaccurate the DualShock is over time. But you know, I've been waving this controller around for ages. Okay. How did that not... What I like about this is how it does vectorized. I mean, look at how it's doing the stroke. It's following my path and stretching and texture it. which is great. I think what's unfortunate in this section, because obviously they're just encouraging you how to draw, is there's a mask, so all I need to do is just sort of basically fill in and do any stroke whatsoever. See what I mean? So again, it's encouraging you into bad behaviour, and I love bad behaviour. So, but I love the way it gives texture to these. Anyway, let's continue.
This will be pure gold.
The problem with this section is
yellow.
You're just filling in these sort of pages to have a good sense of, let's, there you go.
Let's go with blue this time.
I'm not sure what this part of the game does for you, because you don't really do this ever again that I know of. Get that last edge there. Yeah, come on. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, you're gonna be something special.
Now this is Luna, who's our very special ghost. That's true.
And a full moon. I think I'll call you Luna. Do you like that?
Oh. Sharp turns are a bit of a problem because it doesn't. I don't want to mess this up, but it allows you to do 90-degree turns. But anything sort of between that and a gradual one, it sort of refuses it. It wants either a smooth curve or a sharp one, which I think they're just doing some heuristics to make that so. There we go.
You're my best one yet. Want to hang out?
So just before this, I backed up the save game. It surprised me that it's 134 meg. But then I guess if we're free to draw on a bunch of surfaces, then it's probably got a decent amount of vector art that it's saving.
That ain't even your slingshot. You took it from my room.
Finders keepers. Wake up, freak.
Oh, what's the lunch,
Rude.
Ash? Oops.
Oh, what's this? Your little coloring?
Standard children being jerks.
Come and get it.
Right here, B.
Not very inventive. I wish the story had a little more depth. You can also see there that the drawing that it just showed us was not the one we completed, which is a bit of a disappointment. I'd have liked it to actually have represented on that page what we doodled.
Give me that.
Well, dude, you can draw.
Oh, no.
So this is basically setting up what you do for the game. You've got to go collect all those again.
I'm gonna what, little man?
Hey, let's put him on the tray.
Ash is remarkably
Hang out with the
quiet.
lighthouse ghost.
See ya.
Don't be scared, Ash.
I notice it's an American school bus dangling on the cables.
Maybe Mom's right. Maybe I shouldn't hang out around here anymore.
Right, let me... Do I have to hold that or just tap it?
What? I just...
Sorry, ignore me. I
It
noticed
still
you
feels like home.
browsing the trophy Zulu that there's a replay feature as like an animated GIFs scene you can conjure.
Ugh, that purple stuff. Keep seeing more and more of it. Whatever it is, it's gumming up the tram's gears.
Yep,
Looks like I'm
purple
stuck
stuff is our mortal enemy. Whack whack. Or should that just be honk?
My pages? How did they get all the way over here?
I mean, they shouldn't, but you know, it's wind.
I hope they're not lumping me in with those bullies.
So your standard typical, here's some background information. There are only a couple of newspapers. They're mostly in like the sewer, what's it, the waterworks, yeah. The most frustrating part about collecting these pages is it's hard to get a sense of depth, and they also seem to have a bit of randomization.
Weird
So
going on here.
trying to get in ahead of the path of where they're going is not always as successful as I'd like. Nice gate.
I'll just
so
get
we're-
my pages back, then figure out how to get back to Denska.
The lighthouse here. Let's see, is this here already? Yeah. So I noticed this right at the start of my first playthrough. And Ash says nothing about it at the moment. Later on he says, oh, that looks like a thing. I've still not got to a point where I can actually interact with that. These things, however, you get yellow genies later that are electrical, so that should allow us to do something. But I've just hit the point in the game where the typical mechanics we've been taught have, excuse me, not upended, but I can't recall genies at the moment. I can't summon them, that is. And I think that's because we're in a stage of the game where we'll be limited from doing it probably till the end of the game now.
Hello?
And then maybe it'll be resolved after that end game, so it's a bit frustrating. Okay, I was going to say I just saw a page right ahead.
That page, like it has a life of its own.
So you can see there are light bulbs everywhere. We'll learn a little bit about that in a sec. Okay, we can't go that way because there's wood there. You've seen our little paintbrush tucked in our hat. It's very titchy. Right, so can we get this? Maybe not.
There's no ghost.
I do like the way they've done the in-world user interaction, because it works quite well. It's like The Last of Us. It gives you a little circle to hone in on, and then once you get close, it's like, hey, this is the button you need. So it's not intrusive, but also informative. Okay, so here's where we learn a bit more about Luna.
Luna? Okay, that's not how I imagined you sounding.
Now this game came out, was it this week, last week? What surprised me was we'd seen so little of it. I didn't know how big the game was or how much work had gone into it. It kind of surprised me that they announced it and then very little was said about it for quite a while. And obviously they've made a fairly substantial world for the small studio that they are. But I'm very impressed with the work they've done here. Here we go, so now this is Epic Mickey 3.
Whoa, you're in the wall now. You want me to point the brush there?
All it's trying to do there is
Wow.
calibrate
This might take some getting
our
used to.
controller. So it's just like, hey look. Let's just say, paint these bulbs.
Makes those light up?
There we go. And look at these bulbs, aren't they
Hey,
cute?
where are you going now?
I have to point out they're incandescent and therefore not actually acceptable in not just this country but the European Union and further afield. Nice.
More of my pages. Let's see how they look on the wall. You want me to paint that?
Just do any specific
The
tulip?
grass would be nice for you to walk on.
You can see how simple and easy this is. It's kind of nice.
Some plants? Sure.
And it
why
also
not?
it glows the symbol, as you can see there. So let's get one of those, and a third one,
Something to keep you warm and cozy, huh?
and a fire.
You got
okay.
it, Luna.
You done?
Of course. What kind of campfire would it be without any stars? This is unbelievable.
Your interactions with Luna when Luna's, happy and excited.
What are you? Just a splotch of paint? Great.
Genie
I
is
picked up a hitchhiker. Okay then.
really endearing.
Splotch. You know, you guys really aren't living up to the whole scary lighthouse ghost thing.
I think they've done really well to get just character into the really static animations, right? So they've knocked down that staircase, so I'm gonna go jump over there. What I want to do... What? Is this enabled yet? Yes. Right. So we've got our zone. This is the lighthouse area. It's a bit cluttered at times, but you can see we still have lights to light up in this top area where my player arrow is. Pages, well, we picked the one up on the way in, so there aren't any more of those. Genies, there aren't. I mean, there is a genie spawning point, as you can see there, a little red face, but we don't know anything about that yet. In the bottom right, you can see there's a blue page and a green page with some numbers on. They're obviously Genie features, Genies. I don't know the actual name of the pages types, but you can get different types of paper, and they give you different construction tools for
Sure. This looks totally sturdy.
for either paintings or genies. Right, so as we come up here, you can see now on the floor there's a genie spawning point. Now, I played this half hour of the game and then went away and came back like 2 days later, and I'd completely forgotten about these. And I got to a puzzle where it required me
This looks
to
like...
make a
Did
genie.
I draw this?
I had no clue.
I
And
used
it's
to
just
draw
like,
these things all over
find
town
this
when
thing.
I was
And
little.
I was like, what thing?
But
Where?
I don't remember this one.
But
How
they-
did it
they-
get here?
Do a pretty decent job at not being too patronising while also teaching you most of the bear mechanics. As you've probably witnessed so far, it's been a little heavy-handed. You know, draw this specific thing, do this path, you know.
Okay, then.
Right. So we can pick our genie base pattern, and then we...
Just incredible.
Okay, let's go back, because that's a dumb shape. So you can make a sausage, or you can, you know, go this way up so it's upside down. You can do what you want. You can make it short or compact, you know, compact, tall and long. We can give it all sorts of
I really hope
Odd.
I'm not dreaming.
appendages. We're only really adding like stickers onto this character. It will add arms and legs. So we're just making the, you know, the recognizable traits of it. There we go.
You're alive?
So we've made quite a tall, antlered
Hi there.
gherkin. Furry gherkin. There we go. I don't think you get to name them at all. Right, so this one is pointing to go that way. So you can see the staircase has got a decent amount of lights lit already, which is great. Right, so now we're going to learn about these sort of things. Any sparkly item is something that can be interacted with.
Any chance you can help with this?
With our genies, or gives an advantage for us in interacting with genies. So there are items later on that
That's one way to do it.
are sparkly, but they're
Thanks.
not red, so a genie doesn't have to burn anything. It's just here, interact with this. Right, so Luna's wants to keep going. Okay. It is nice how areas that you've sorted out have this sort of aura of awesomeness. Okay, you can see another one of those things over there. And there's one inside the door on the left, you can see. But yeah, I don't think it's too large a... Sorry, Ash. I don't think it's too large a spoiler to say you should revisit this location a couple of times during the main story to just meet Luna again. And stuff. Right, so there's a staircase here, but obviously it's shut at the moment. There's no newspapers. Again, it's a sparkly item.
Oh man, that purple stuff, the darkness. I didn't realize it had gotten so bad. What if it spreads up here? Oh, my painting lit this part up here in the lighthouse.
They are basically making it really obvious now. Look what you have to do. Yeah, okay, we get it.
You want me to do that? To paint this whole town back to life. Thing is, I won't be able to do much if I'm still stuck here.
There we go, so we're going out the,
Luna!
top of the lighthouse.
Where'd you go?
Oh. We didn't really look up as we were going up here, but look at these paintings. I love that mushroom one on the left. Some really talented artist. Right.
I think I need to light up all these bulbs by painting underneath them.
It's really odd he got there just straight away. So again, as I was saying, you can just put some grass down. It's like, yeah, whatever. It just needs the area filled. So you can see on the ground, it's got this. Luna's kind of in the way, so you can't see it too well. What is it? Get some flames over here. See, it doesn't take much. Let's get some apples down. A few apples, just spam them.
No, some of that darkness is up here. Can't get past that stuff, huh? You want me to paint that? Okay. Right.
So now we need to make our genie happy. So we're going to do some Aurora.
Well, what do you think?
Whoa!
Luna loves
What's
it.
going on?
So there you go.
Are you charging me up somehow?
Yes.
Whoa!
Now, of course, you just have to do the same thing
Super
by
paint.
filling in the body of the sections.
Okay, Luna. Coast is clear.
You don't really get encouraged to repaint this, which is a shame, because later on with you get so many more tools, it would be kind of nice to do. Sorry, just looking for pages in case I needed them.
That switch looks promising.
It's the only switch. It's the only intractable thing in here.
Yes!
That's basically the mechanics of the game. You make genies happy by solving the most simple puzzles possible.
You're right, Luna.
Painting challenges aren't really that hard
Do
at
it.
all, as long as you have the actual items they want you to paint. And if you're particularly thorough about picking up collectibles, then you'll have the tools you need to make the genies happy, which will give you super paint to clear the purple stuff, to clear zones, to, progress to the next level. It's, I kind of really wish it had a bit more of a challenge. Not that I want it to be a puzzle game, just that, I don't know, I got to a point in the game, and obviously I don't really want to spoil it, where I'm just like, well, I've done all this.
Bye, Luna. See you later.
I'm not feeling challenged enough to be really encouraged to delve deeper. Right, so free painting is now free. Never tried that yet. Might do that a bit later. So there you go. Genies can only move across connected walls. So far, there's been a puzzle where we close the door to allow them to cross an area, and a couple where we open doors to allow them to pass. Just trying to think of more complicated ones. There's like 2 puzzles where you move an object that you get the genies onto the side of, and then they can connect to a different wall.
Looks like my first stop will be the fish market.
But beyond that, it's just filling in walls to trigger lights or explore and pick up pages. So it really could have a little more to it. It's a bit basic, I'd say that. But you know, if you like this sort of game where, you know, it's not hard.
Everyone else might have given up on this town.
It's not high on challenge.
But I haven't.
But, you know, it's got some heart to it, and they're trying to tell at least a story that seems roughly interesting. I hate these kids though. They can all go drown in the oil for all I care. The way they behave in those bikes make me think that this is done by adults that are older than me, that have that sort of E.T. era.
Nice shot.
You know, American teen gangs and sort of bikes they've got. It just feels a bit weird.
Leave him alone.
Why? You're stupid.
Because I said so.
Ah! Don't make me break that ugly face of yours.
You couldn't break an egg.
They love the word ugly as well. An awful lot of their graffiti's like, ugly. Okay.
Lighthouse ghost.
Hey, that is real. I saw it.
Yo, Beatrice. Maybe you forgot. You don't run to stay anymore.
So outside of wall painting and just getting genies to where they need to be, which is pretty simple.
Guess this is a good place to start.
You have these kids that are only a few times sat on objectives you need to clear. So you get the mechanic of shouting for them. Okay, it's not unlocked yet. But basically you taunt them to follow you, and then they go to a different location. So all you have to do is get on the rooftops, run like 2 blocks away, call them, wait for them to run over under you. They'll stay around being alert to someone there, and you just walk back to where they were. It's
Strands all lit up. Where to next?
pretty minimal. So there we go. And then they just want to show us. So this is a more interesting zone. And you can go between the lighthouse and back to everywhere. Right, that's a tutorial done. So here again, you've got all these lights to do. On some maps they're red as off. I don't know if they've just if it was patched earlier today. I don't know if that's a change that they've done to have the off ones white or not. It probably is for colour blindness than the rest. But you just see, okay, I have to paint these things. I guess at least these pages show the glyphs that you're going to get, but it's really hard to tell. I know that top right one's a butterfly, the middle one there's a tree. I don't know what the bottom right one is, whether that's a flower head or something. And then genies, we haven't spawned any yet, so they're not showing. The other 3 things on the map that look like billboards are exactly that. They're billboards. You can paint over them to make them animated. It's an interesting mechanic, but it's not that great. We already looked at the journal as the request. We've got more newspapers. It does surprise me that newspapers load in so blurry straight away. Not many games do that nowadays. They try and preload as much as possible. And there we go, we've got one of our genies spawned, and some concept art and the rest. I assume. Yeah, these are from my other save game. I assume it's a shared one. So see, there's the waterworks and the rest. Okay, maybe I should just quickly go to my other save game and just show some of the genies I've made, some of the items I've unlocked. But I don't really want to show the world state as it is, because that will have some spoilers, which I think you're probably better off not seeing until you play it yourself. Save slots. I mean, it's game day 1. Now, does this load, or do we have to do continue after this? Yeah, we're obviously back at the menu because of that sharp camera angle. So we're just adding a stream marker for this point. Let's pretend we didn't see that. Or that other kid. Right, so diary. We've definitely got further in. Moments. I've not found any yet. I have high-fived a couple of genies and thrown a ball through a hoop and the rest. But I need to work out how to do that. I have picked up all the newspapers. And here we go. Here's me experimenting with that top left one is quite hideous. The bottom left, I was putting down all these little hairs to make a little really scary head of hair, and then I ran out of being able to do anything else because there's a finite limit to the amount of things you put down. So bottom right is, oh, there's a trophy for putting however many unique ones on. Let's just do that. I like my later ones, like the bunny rabbit in the bottom right, and the top right where I've got, some floppy ears, and then eyebrows which are, tentacles. So yeah, you can make some interesting looking creatures. I'm not very creative, so whatever. Features, you can see you've got all these different sort of interesting tails and ears and just random head accessories and hats and the rest. Oh right, okay, they do have names, I see. And then you've obviously got the painting patterns that you get to put down. Okay, so how do I... Oh, I guess we actually have to paint. We've not unlocked the fourth one, which we just saw there is snow or ice. Obviously we've got, I'm not sure how you describe that category. Fantasy, electric, depression, mushrooms. And yeah, in the bottom right, this is different. We have some extra abilities. I don't really want to spoil anything, but it does make it very much like Second Son. Nice. Anyhow, that's, I think, where I want to leave the little look. You can see I've flesh this area out with some minimal painting or some odd stuff. I don't know why I put so many mushrooms there. But yeah, the game's super fun. If you are far more creative than me, you might actually have some nice designs on these buildings. Whereas I just tend to like spam a thing, or I'll doodle something and it'll look pretty, and then I'll make a mess of it later because the genie's like, no, paint me something on this. Anyway, that's Concrete Genie. Cheerio.